Hi everyone, this is Deborah Russell, and today I'm going to chat with you about the 4 circles of influence that when utilized will help you be much less frustrated and much more productive in your life and your business. So let's get started. The first of the 4 circles is that of zero control. What falls into this circle are things that we have absolutely no ability to affect or change. A simple example of that is the weather. Unless you have very special powers, it won't matter how much you wish or complain, the weather's just going to do what the weather's going to do. Another example of something that falls within the zero control circle is the past. Anything that has already occurred, even if it was 5 minutes ago, it can't be changed. You may have just spilled the milk, and you can't change that fact. However, you can change how you view it or what to do. Think about how much time and energy people tend to put into zero control circle things. The problem is that when a person puts their focus there are typically 2 categories of emotion they'll experience. One is frustration or anger, and the other one's sadness or even depression. These are actually predictable emotions when you're putting your time, focus, and energy into something that you have zero ability to change or even affect. The next circle is a minimal influence circle, which is only a slight improvement. The things that fall into this circle, we can possibly have an impact, but it's likely to only be a small one. For example, I very much believe in recycling and I do my part, but my individual efforts only make a small impact. However, many individual efforts combined could make a huge impact. Another example could be voting. One person's vote certainly counts, but by itself it has minimal influence. One of the biggest minimal influence circles I find in my coaching that can create a huge amount of upset is people trying to change other people. Can we influence that change? Certainly it's possible, but I propose that you'll be much better served to focus on the following 2 circles. The next circle is direct influence. These are the things that we can directly affect. For example, based on your actions, you can definitely affect how much money you earn. You can't necessarily control that result, but you can certainly directly impact it. Another example is your health. You can't control possible health issues from occurring or accidents from happening, but again, you can definitely impact it in an extremely direct way. The last and most important circle is that of control. And the only thing that you have any real control over is yourself. Now, obviously, this is in theory to a degree because you have to develop the mental muscle of control, which, of course, as a coach, is one of the important things I work on with people. 3 of the things you can build the muscle for being in charge of are 1, your own focus, 2, your own self-talk, and 3, your own actions. So back to the example about your earnings. If you're in sales, you cannot control the outcome, but you can absolutely directly affect that outcome. For example, based on how many times you pick up the phone and reach out to a potential client. Use the example of your health and well-being. It's possible you could do all the right things and still get sick. However, you can directly affect and dramatically increase the chances of good health with what you can control, which is what you physically put in your mouth or how frequently you exercise. Some of my clients print out a target with the 4 circles to remind themselves of the importance to consistently bring yourself back to the center 2 circles. So I'll leave you with this question. Which circles of influence are you going to invest your time and energy into going forward in your life? Choose well. This is Deborah signing off.